So something is making me insane today, and it's leaf blowers. So we're back to filming neighbors with their leaf blowing service. I got up early today because I couldn't sleep as easily, not because of leaf blowers, but this is a tragedy. It is 9:45, so it's relatively early. And it's bad enough that Left Bozo 1, 2, 3, they had commercial services coming out here whenever they wanted. But it looks like there's something worse now. So that's hedging. Again, the guy is literally doing nothing. He is using the hedger tool to do the concrete. Do you see that? The concrete cracks because that really needs, right, genius stuff. Let's turn it back. So this is insanity. Right Bozo, as we did on this channel here, Right Bozo used to do his own lawn. Now, I looked up the tax records. Right Bozo, and I mentioned this before, but just to catch everyone up, Right Bozo used to, or bought the house to the right of him, if we're standing this way. So that's Right Bozo over there. He bought the house next to him. I looked up a bunch of other stuff. He bought a couple other houses, so he's, again, kind of landlording the area. And I've noticed how he's been actually pretty busy, you know? And I'm like, oh, Right Bozo is not blowing as much stuff. He's not recreationally blowing his deck every other day. And I'm like, oh, maybe he's busy with his other houses. He has a normal job, I think. I don't know what it is. But now, even Right Bozo is doing leaf blowering. So it's really frustrating that after 5 years, and this is the insanity, is you buy a house and you expect things to be a certain way, and then somebody can just do this to you, and it's like, okay, like what? Of course, there's no recourse against any of this, right? You know, and that's a shame because, again, the last time I talked with Left Bozo, remember when I basically showed him a letter and said, look, this leaf blowing is obnoxious. And then he kind of bought a better leaf blower, you know, a less noisy one. He did it maybe a little bit less. But now it's like, oh, he's not doing his own yard anymore. And he's gotten fancy and very, very, what do you call it? He used to do, like, he used to clean out his own car, sometimes with a leaf blower, because he does have some dogs, so I don't know. I just park my car in the garage and clean it out, so I'm not an asshole, whatever. But he used to clean his own car. You know, he used to vacuum or blow it. And I've noticed that he has one of these mobile services that comes out to his house to clean his car now. Of course, they're making tons of noise because why not? So it's like, I don't know, he's getting busy landlording, and now he's just outsourcing a bunch of stuff that he used to do. You know? So I also noticed there's a guy who sold his house or something. He actually didn't do much yard work. He also had he tried to fix, like, the siding of his house, and when people do that, it sucks, and it sucked. So that guy's gone. They fixed up the house. It looks a little better, and guess what I saw yesterday? There was another leaf blower service finishing up right as I was coming back from the grocery store. So it's like, okay, that's an extra one. Right Bozo here's an extra one at 9:45. Sometimes I wake up at 10 or 11. That hasn't been recently. But generally, okay. So one more thing to that I'm going to be woken up by potentially. One more extra little thing to drive me insane. It's like it's the same old shit, isn't it? And then it smells like gas. It smells like gas in here because we opened the door. So, come to the leaf blowerlands, the woodlands. You know, it's all nature, and And it's going to smell like gas. It's going to sound like, you know, a lumber mill, I guess, which is funny because this place used to be an actual lumber mill. It used to be like timber, where one of the little neighborhoods actually bit. Okay, another fun thing. Of course, it's very... Okay, so you see how, I don't know if the voice is coming through, but let's take a look at just the picture, right? So you have a ride-on mower here, right? Now, that whole front lawn there, so to speak, that whole front lawn is subdivided between the two of us. There's like a pole there. That's basically the halfway marker, okay? It's the halfway marker, you know? It's the halfway marker. I can't even think, you know? But it's so I'm going to measure it maybe. I don't know if I don't like to edit this stuff, and maybe I'll put in the timestamps if it's anywhere, 60 something, right? We'll put that in there. But I'm going to measure the size of that thing because that's subdivided between the two of us. One of the advantages of me buying this house was the back's kind of messy. Who cares? You don't have to do anything with it. The front is very small. There's no front lawn on the other side of the driveway. There's like a small couple-inch thing. The other neighbor gets it, Left Bozo, with their blowing service and everything. But there's not much for me to do out there. That's a good thing. Because back in the old days, which is funny, I was actually looking at my old house. You know, they demolished it, they built a new one, and I was thinking, man, I had this oversized corner lot where I had to, with a push mower, a real mower without electricity for the first few years, I had to do a massive amount of lawn, and good exercise and whatever, but it's obnoxious. You know, it's totally obnoxious to do that. So it was kind of an advantage that, oh, there's no front lawn here, functionally speaking, and, you know, you can just get... And hey, it doesn't matter that there's no front lawn. You will have a riding mower that's about half the mower is about half the size of the actual lawn. Right? Out. Now, okay, the guy has a little bit more, and again, as I said, the house next to him he also bought as well, but this is just one of those reasons where everything sucks, you know? And it's like, okay, the perennial question of, okay, where to move to, right? Because it's not just the noise. There's just no community anywhere worth joining. Like, that's the other thing, is people love to use this road as a raceway. Whether it's 2 a.m., whether it's 2 p.m., whether it's 9:50, people love to use this as a raceway, okay, as a racetrack. It's a lot of fun for them. And, or, you know, as we've done before, literally at 2 a.m., the street sweeping machines go through here. The city hires that. The city, not city, as we've mentioned before, because it's not properly incorporated. And it's like, this is insanity. You know, whether it's 9 a.m., there's leaf blowers. And then they have the street sweeping leaf blowers sometimes at 2 a.m. And then, you know, Right Bozo, who at least was on his better behavior, you know, now he's hiring a professional service. It's like, fuck these people. It's just like, there's no sense of community. You can't talk to anyone. And, you know, people just have these shit lawns that don't look good. The whole point of the place is it's the woodlands. Just let stuff go. Who cares, you know? And again, I mean, it feels like this is the 100th video that it's the same fucking thing. But it really is. It really is. The insanity never ends. There's too much condensation on the window, so maybe we can go outside. Let's get some fresh air in the woodlands and sniff gasoline for free. Let me get high off of that. Maybe that'll take my problems away. Good Lord. Now, it's just so obnoxious. You know, so fucking obnoxious. You know, how dare you pollute my air and garden? Because, oh, it's 9:45, you wake up and, oh, let's get some coffee out here. It's like a lumber mill. There's a truck here, there's a racetrack. You know, But anyways, I mean, this was a particularly wet summer. So this area, so let's zoom back here, right? So look at that, that's nature. And this stuff here, and over there, I do cut out because I do like to sunbathe out here, you know? And it's just unbearable that there's just... Okay, the riding mower is now going back into the truck, so that's good. And then they'll do a final blowing just to annoy me, I'm sure. Oh. That's the leaf blower. That's idling. I'm almost certain of that. So again, let's talk about my deck, okay? Well, the leaf blower. So this is the hurricane, right? The hurricane was what, in July or something? I don't even remember anymore. And I know that before the hurricane, I don't remember when I swept the deck. Okay? And the whole point was, even though a hurricane blew through, I did clean the driveway, but there was no point in cleaning any of this because there was just a couple more leaves here. Who cares? So there wasn't, even though I come out here to sunbathe every day, there wasn't enough stuff here to say, oh my God, I have to clean this off, or blah, blah, blah. You know, because, you know, if it gets rainy, I don't want to slip on this stuff. Fine, okay, right? Because, again, as I said, he owns this one, and then he owns the one over there, so now they're working on that one. For fuck's sake. It's so relaxing to live in the woods, right? But I have not had to sweep my deck since probably June. Now, it's going to get fall. There's going to be more stuff falling. So probably I will sweep the deck a few times maybe. And that'll take me a grand total of about 3 minutes. Because I'm just going to sweep everything off of it. Okay. So this let's waste our money to make the woods look pristine. And by cleaning, we mean blowing dust around, right? Of course we mean that. It's so obnoxious living in this shithole. And going back to the... I don't even know if they've been in the backyard yet in this house. I think they're right at the next one over. Right? And of course, left Bozo left, right? I don't see his... Generally, he does sometimes park in the driveway, but... Can you not hire somebody who just sweeps it up for you? Can you not give the extra $5? You know, I want to sell this house just to spite left Bozo. You know, if I lose 100 grand on it and just sell it to the loudest, most obnoxious person, I want to do that now. You know? I want to sell this to the loudest asshole who throws parties here every day, you know, is the loudest person. They have like a boombox out here just directed at left Bozo. That's my hope for the future. Or right Bozo. And left Bozo, everybody sucks. Just place loudspeakers on every post of the house. Just everywhere. Loudspeakers, maybe Rod Ranch or whatever it's called. That could be a top thing on the playlist. The song I found that nobody else has, we'll put that in 14-minute timestamp. So what was it called? Pop My Cherry. It's a very explicitly lewd song, and I've never been able to find who made it. Just blowing dust in the air as usual. So... And again, where to move to? I mean, that's the perennial question of... Yeah, the Woodlands, the racetrack / lumber mill. So where to move to? Where's a place that says, okay, these are annoying things, we don't do them here? Good fucking luck. Okay, you can find maybe a couple places that aren't too bad. If there's not too many neighbors, unless they're really pathologically insane. Okay, let's say you hear something like this half a mile down the road, 5 minutes or 10 minutes or even 15 minutes a week. Okay, that's an improvement. But even that's hard to find, right? It's wow, this is really disappointing. This is really disappointing. You thought, okay, Right Bozo's not really doing it as much. Oh, because now he's too busy doing else, and now he's gonna, okay. But you know, it's just the lack of community anywhere. Like, where do I show up and say, hey, I don't want to just, you know, because again, if you had anything, a community, people talking or something, hey, let's go, let's have breakfast and, you know, let's have a cup of coffee out here. I mean, even in there, you can't hear yourself think with the racetrack and the leaf blowers. Oh, have a nice quiet morning coffee in the woods. Fuck me. You know, and I also wonder, you know, how often it's going to be. Because at least with Left Bozo now, it's every 2 weeks. I can't quite predict when it's going to be. It was, I think, on Tuesday this week. And then I'm like, well, I got to change my schedule. You know, I got to go walking in the forest. It's loud there, too. The preserve they have, because, you know, why not? But at least you can walk away from it. You can put on some earbuds, and if you're walking that way, it'll go away faster than if you stay here ripping out your hair. But no, I mean, it's just, it's just empty shit everywhere, you know. So I was looking at the old house. You know, they were selling it originally for $2 million, and under COVID, I think it was listed for 1.9. I think they sold it for 1.8 or 1.7 something $1 million. I actually looked up who lives there now. It's like a doctor and another doctor, a married couple. I don't even know if they have kids, but it's like 5,000 square feet. That's the 5,000. I mean, I think they're in this backyard now. No, we're gonna sit out here. That's what this is. Oh, let's talk about things. With whom? Where? Out here in the. Where do you go to talk about stuff where it's not just this ass fuck loud all day long, right? But anyways, the house, you know, 5,000 square, and you know, you do the 1.7 trick, or you do the divide by 3 trick to see what people are making. You know, that's a general rule of thumb. So 1.8 divided by 3 is 600,000 a year. Oh, they're coming out back. Wonderful. And it's like, okay, you make 600 grand and you live in a neighborhood. Oh, I was going down the street view to see some old houses and see which ones have been demolished. Of course, I saw a leaf blower truck, right? A pickup, and you saw a leaf blower sticking out of the end of it, of course. It's like, okay, so for 600,000, you get to live in a upscale neighborhood or whatever. You're probably never home because you're working. It's 500,000 or 5,000 square feet. You have now. You have to worry about who's going to clean this fucking mess. You have to hire somebody for that. You have to hire somebody for landscaping. And what do you get for this? Even if you're making 600, I mean, it's a couple, so let's say 6. And again, is it pre-tax? And taxes are huge if you're making that much. So what, they're making 700-800? Holy shit. And what do you get for it? Do you get a neighborhood where you know your neighbors? No. Do you get a neighborhood where, hey, I'm going to stay home today and go out drinking some coffee on the back porch? Good luck. Try that and see how that works out. Yeah. So it's like, what the fuck is this? You know, this is becoming a more expensive place too, right? Which is good because I own the house. I can sell it for more, right? But where do you go? Where's a place that says, you know, this is not a good way of living and existing? This empty hell, you know, where you don't know your neighbors. There's nothing to do. Everyone's fat. And then they're playing around with their leaf blowers all day long. I think that's the dog. Now, sometimes the wife hears home. She does park in the garage a little more. Because they have two little boxer, or not little, but they have two boxers in there because there's two dogs in here, the ones that take giant dumps. Oh, another thing. Where's a place where if I'm going to be sunbathing in my own yard, I don't have to smell your dog shit because Left Bozo likes to use his backyard as a shitatorium for the two dogs they have. It's disgusting. You know? Where's a place where it's like, oh, yeah, you don't get to take a giant shit in your own backyard with your dogs, right? You don't get to shit in your backyard because it's the wind helps it because the wind kind of makes it go away. It's when the air is still like now that if you're sitting right there, it's just the whiff of dog shit hits you. And it's like, okay, so it's already loud. I have to play music, have some noise canceling earbuds in. I have to use some white noise app on top of that. Maybe I'm not too annoyed and I can sunbathe out here. But then I have to sniff fucking dog shit. Like, this is insanity, you know? This is complete insanity. So yeah, Right Bozo is a big disappointment because at least he was cutting back on the leaf blower usage. You know, he was cutting back on it, and he knew I have a problem with this. So fuck you too, I guess. And fuck you too, I guess, Bozo. That's why I call him Bozo. I was right all along. Gradually, I began to hate them.